In the previous lecture, we discussed the transitional phase of the early Harappan into the mature Harappan. We focused on the end of the early Harappan age, an era in which there was a large-scale abandoning of various settlement sites. This abandoning was generally the consequence of fires in major sites, but there were some minor sites which were just abandoned and not reoccupied later. So the number of sites abandoned in this greater Indus region is quite large. In the Singh region, which is the lower Indus region, 29 sites were abandoned and left. In the Cholistan region, which is the region of the Saraswati River, 33 sites were abandoned. And in the beginning of the mature Harappan era, or the centralized Harappan age of the Indus Valley civilization, 132 sites were established on new foundations. So these were new cities which were built after 2700 BC and sometime around 2600 BC. So this was a rapid transformation of civilization, just the scale of civilization in the Indus Valley, within a few generations, in which small village-based societies were replaced by vast grand cities, all from southern Afghanistan to South Pakistan, from eastern Iran to north-central India, sharing the same culture, which was a unified civilization. And in the words of one scholar who studied the Indus Valley civilization for decades, the Indus Valley civilization in its Harappan age was the vastest and boldest political experiment till the Roman Empire. Now, while cities were established on new foundations, the culture of this Harappan era was a synthesis of various other cultures of this greater Indus region. We spoke about various domains of the Indus Valley civilization. The Harappan culture was dominant in this phase of the greater Indus Valley civilization, but by and large the culture was borrowed from the Gordigians, from the Amrinal people, even from the hill cultures of Mehergarh and other regions. Sir Mortimer Wheeler, one of the earliest archaeologists who studied the Harappan civilization, called the Harappans a society which was strong in heart, disciplined, numerous, and imaginatively led by a people who grasped the problem of their environment. And we may be sure that these people simultaneously solved this problem. Else, the civilization would have perished as quickly as it appeared. Here, if anywhere, may we fairly discern in human affairs an example of that swift adaptation and progression which biologists know as explosive evolution. The epitome of what this civilization achieved was the city of Mohanjodaro. As the archaeologist Michael Jansen describes the city, it was in Mohanjodaro during its urban phase that a planned platform-based city was first envisioned. Then it would indicate an enormous step, not only politically but also financially and organizationally regarding the effort to construct a city of such a magnitude. This step would have been coincided with the appearance of seals of a written script, burnt brick technology, hydrological technologies such as circular wells constructed with a wedge-shaped brick design, drains and bathing platforms. We are dealing with a rather small time gap of not more than 80 years around this era of transition, where all these elements must have developed simultaneously. Yet another archaeologist writes that this thesis shows that Mohenjo-daro represents the moment in which the urban phase explodes in the Indus Valley civilization. That in order to build such a vast city, they constructed gigantic clay and mud platforms to raise the base level to protect themselves from the recurring floods of the Indus, thus controlling their environment and dominating nature to create this vast city. Now we will return to Mohenjo-daro and look at the city and how it was planned in a lot of detail, but let's take a broad picture of this mature phase of the Indus Valley civilization first. Aside from that discussion towards the end of the previous lecture, in which we spoke about the destruction and the fires in the cities of the early Harappan era, which is the era preceding it, We know very little about this transition and how it happened. We know that cities were destroyed, new cities were established, and these new cities were very different cities. In fact, the entire look or form of this mature Harappan era was influenced by older cultures but very different, with new styles of pottery, new types of fabrics, new vessel forms, new painting, and new art. Some of the greatest accomplishments were in metallurgy. Bronze making and the use of bronze really expanded all across the greater Indus region during this era. We see the emergence of new forms of things made from metal: pots, pans, copper tablets, blades, fish hooks, even razors for shaving. In fact, there are indications that the people of this mature Harappan age even practiced surgery, and we have found some surgical equipment as well. And of course, one cannot talk about the Indus Valley civilization without speaking about the seals. These distinctive seals were most likely used to stamp merchandise. We know this because we have found stamped clay which is used to seal jars. Remember, jars were used to transport vast quantities of goods even at Mehergarh. And these clays themselves required the coalescing of two forms of technology. The first is a soft technology, the soft technology with a lot of hard consequences, that is writing. And it is difficult to say when exactly the early signs of Harappan writing that we found in the early phases of Harappa, dating to about the 4th millennium BC, became a written script. Remember, we found signs on pots, which were very rudimentary pots, in the earliest stages of the settlement of Harappa. Sometime during this transitional phase, these early signs had transformed into a written script. And this written script is most evident in these small seals. Now, it was not just the script which made these seals unique. It was also this intricate carving which shows a variety of scenes from the lived life of Harappa. That shows people, animals, people going about their business, possibly also some divinities, some gods, and some spirits worshipped by the Harappan people, all appear on these seals as sort of engraved pictorial representations of the life, philosophy, culture, and beliefs and hopes of the Indus Valley people. And these are really remarkable insights, small windows into the past lives of this greater Indus Valley people. And these seals have been found not just in the cities of the Indus Valley civilization, they have been found all across this North Subcontinental arc. They have been found in Central Asia, they have been found in the Persian Gulf, and they have been found in the cities of Mesopotamia, all the way up till the vicinity of the Caspian Sea. And this really is the marker of the accomplishment and the spread of the influence of this great civilization during its Harappan age. Now, it must be remembered that all these changes happened within a few generations, possibly in less than 100 years. Now, ultimately, the most important change was a transformation in the urbanization and the socio-cultural complexity of the civilization. And this is displayed most remarkably by the size of the new cities. The size and the complexity of these Indus cities is remarkable and possibly unmatched except in Sumeria, in any of the ancient cities, ancient civilizations of the world. Egypt, on the other hand, is a very rural society, and you find very few large complex cities comparable to the cities of the Indus Valley and Sumeria. Now, the ancient cities of the Indus Valley civilization are interesting for many reasons. First of all, of course, because they rose so rapidly, and these two great cities of Harappa and Mohanjodaro were very similar in their form, in their basic urban layout, in their size, their architecture, the town planning, the layout, how water and even garbage and disposal was managed in the entire city. And not just these two cities, the two cities which are assumed to be the capital of the civilization, the twin capitals, the old city of Harappa and the new city of Mohanjodaro, but even other cities such as Dholavira, which was an ancient city and it was reoccupied by the Harappans and expanded into this large city of Dholavira. Dholavira, Kalibangan, other cities such as Rakhigari, they were all cities which displayed these similar characteristics of this Harappan culture. So all this shows that the Indus civilization was a centralized, well-developed and complex socio-cultural civilization. And just as the society was complex, so was the Indus economy. The economy expanded over a vast cultural scale. It managed to organize extraction of resources, transportation of those resources over vast distances. And there was a complex distribution of jobs to manage this entire geo-economic functioning of this civilization. There were complex jobs such as scribes, seal cutters, metal workers, even architects and engineers, which would have to be required for the multiplicity of so many craft and career specializations. And consequently, there were also some differences in wealth, especially between urban and rural areas of the civilization. Remember, there were vast cities, but there were also hinterlands. Hinterlands were of two types. There were small cities or small villages which were primarily focused on agriculture, and these villages were primarily located in the Saraswati region, which is also known as the Cholistan region. And then, of course, there were the vast open spaces which might have been occupied by pastoralists. And these are interesting spaces, and in a later lecture we will return to these spaces and who these pastoralists might have been, what their identity or ethnic identity might have been. That is a question we will return to when we consider the transformation of the Indus Valley civilization at the end of this mature Harappan age. Now, what brought this vast civilization together? What held its people together? And what enforced such a uniformity across this vast space? It would have to be some ideology. And there is a strong indication that the Indus people of this vast cultural area were very diverse. There was a lot of ethnic diversity amongst the Indus people. Remember, this greater Harappan age was formed out of regional cultures, and most likely these regional cultures were also different ethnicities. Now, in the 50s and 60s, archaeologists were very interested in examining the ethnic diversity of these ancient civilizations by looking at the forms of skeletons. And by examining bone structures and dental structures of certain skeletons found in the Indus Valley cities, there were certain conclusions that these cities were ethnically diverse. But diversity is also indicated by other manifestations of culture. Now, in hindsight, it is quite obvious that such a vast civilization would be ethnically diverse. Even now, this region straddling southern Afghanistan, Pakistan, and northern India is one of the most ethnically diverse regions in the world. But even in the cities of this civilization, in major cities, we can identify at least 6 different types of burials. And remember, this passage to the afterlife or burial after one's death of a loved one is a strong indicator of religious beliefs. And religions tend to have uniform ways of disposal of the dead or passing on of the dead from the lived life into the afterlife. These 6 or 7 different forms of burial indicate that there might have been even religious diversity in this Indus Valley civilization. Then, as we will see in our later lecture when we talk about the transformation of the Indus Valley civilization, different regions of this civilization display signs of different forms of worship. So, in the core Harappan region of the civilization, the Harappan domain, we see the worship of a deity who has been identified with the Hindu god Shiva. And there is also the worship of a mother goddess who again has been identified with the consort of Shiva, the Hindu goddess Shakti. So the worship of Shiva and Shakti was dominant in the Punjab region of the Indus Valley civilization. If we move to the east to the Saraswati region, there are indications that the people of this region were fire worshippers, because we find fire altars in the major cities of this region, especially Kalibangan and Rakhigadi. Then in Sindh and the Gujarat region, remember the Gujarat region was initially colonized by people of the Kodiji and Amrinal culture who were people from Sindh. We find indications that the people might be water worshippers. This of course is indicated by the great bath of Mohanjodaro, which is one of the most prominent monuments of the Indus Valley people. Now we also find a structure very similar to the Great Bath in the city in Gujarat, in the western region of India, in the city of Lothal. Now Lothal was also founded by the Harappans, or the people during this Harappan age. And this was founded in the mature phase of the Indus Valley civilization. And of course, if you move to the hill cultures, there are older forms of religion. And we should not expect that the older cultures of Mehergarh and the central regions of highlands in Balochistan forgot their own religions or their old cultures. So in addition to ethnic diversity, there was also most likely religious diversity. And there is some indication that this religious diversity might have led to religious warfare in the closing or transformational stages of the civilization around 2000 BC. But what brought all these people of different cultures, different religions, and different perhaps languages together? This was a core Indus ideology. And it seems from the accomplishments of this civilization, this ideology might have been an ideology founded on the idea of progress. Now remember, at the end of the early Harappan era, there was an abandoning of a vast number of sites. A lot of these larger sites were destroyed, but some of the smaller sites were just abandoned and people moved to these new cities, these new vast cities. And again, the technological innovations of the Harappan people show that people might have been attracted towards this idea of living in vast metropolises. Are there any other precedents for this? Think of the Western civilization, right? During the age of industrialization or the high age of capitalism. Again, the idea of progress plays a dominant role in the history of the West in the modern age. Perhaps the precedent for that, again, lies in an ancient civilization far, far away. Now, I have mentioned numerous times that one of the fundamental characteristics of these cities is that they were well planned. They were well planned and they provided a decent life to most people who lived in the city. Now, there is a distinction of wealth between large cities and smaller villages, but within cities themselves, the facilities provided to various people or even the sizes of houses do not show a stark difference, at least not the kind of difference that you see in Egypt, which is a very hierarchical civilization. So there is some evidence that people were attracted to the prospect of good life in these new cities. And good life was provided. There were services like running water, there was good sewage, planned drainage, there was good fresh water. When Mohanjodaro was founded, at least 700 new wells were dug at street corners. And street corners themselves were well lit with lamps. And there is some evidence that every street corner had its own watchman or guard. So maybe people were just attracted to this new life in these new cities. In addition to all of this, there was the prospect of trade, especially of foreign trade. Now, people of this greater Indus region were exchanging goods with people of the wider Eurasian world, of Central Asia and also of Mesopotamia, and also of southern India and central India for a long time, for at least since the beginning of the 4th millennium BC. But this trade and these contacts were sporadic. Now, in this mature Harappan age, we see for the first time this civilization playing an active geo-economic role in this developing, emerging international system of ancient civilizations. And this is something we will explore in the next lecture.